It was at last week's French Grand Prix that both Ferraris finished outside the points for the first time this year. Their drivers expressed that they felt that they had the worst tyre wear on the grid. There were a few suggestions that this might have been because of the increase in tyre pressures instituted last week. Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto has now explained if this is true and if Ferrari can fix their tyre wear issues this year. I'm your host Dillon Shelley, and first up on Formula World, are Ferrari at a loss for answers? Binotto began by revealing that he is in the dark regarding the best way to tackle Ferrari's tyre wear problems. I don't have an answer right now. I think what we need is to analyse the data, do some simulations. I think that will be part of the homework we need to do, as Carlos mentioned before, but as for now, I can't answer the question. He then divulged if the increased tyre pressures had a role to play in the increased tyre degradation. I don't think it has any impact. If I look at the prescriptions, it has been raised at the rear, and we had the issue on the front, so in terms of running those, nothing has changed for us, and I don't think the prescriptions at the rear has been the problem. He then explained why solving this problem completely won't be feasible this year. Can we develop it through a simple development on the current car? Probably we could improve the situation, but to solve it would need some hardware change, for example, the rims, which is not possible in the regulation. He summed up his words by reiterating the need to concentrate on 2022 instead. It is more important for us that we are at the stage where we can understand and try to address it for next year. In the meanwhile, this issue will happen again at some races, but not all of the tracks. Fast feed. Acting Abu Dhabi Motorsports Management CEO Saif Al-Noaimi has stated they've been looking at improving the racing on the track. They've been listening to their spectators, the fans, the drivers, F1 and the FIA, and they've been working on making some changes, exciting changes this year to the layout of the track. He added that the objective ultimately is to create more opportunities for close wheel-to-wheel racing. It has since been reported that turns 4, 5 and 6 will be converted into a single left-handed hairpin, while turns 11, 12, 13 and 14 will be replaced with a single sweeping banked left-hand curve. Haas team principal Günther Steiner feels that the close moves between his drivers in France was racing, but it wasn't unfair by any means, it was hard racing. He added that he spoke with both of them because he didn't see the picture completely, so he came to the conclusion that it was racing but it wasn't unfair. Nikita Mazepin, meanwhile, doesn't think that there are very many gentlemen around in F1 now. Obviously, everyone said that he was breaking the agreement in Bahrain, and then 3 very great drivers went out and did it in Baku, Mazepin suggested. He was referring to the gentleman's agreement among F1 drivers to hold position in their warm-up lap prior to their hot lap in qualifying. Alfa Romeo's Antonio Giovinazzi thinks that it was impossible to try and be in the top 10 in France. They need to focus a little bit more to try and check everything from the race and try to be stronger at the Red Bull Ring. His teammate Kimi Raikkonen was actually a bit surprised by how easily the tyres disappeared at Paul Ricard. For F1's managing director Ross Brawn, it was fabulous watching the race at Paul Ricard evolve from a slow burner to a humdinger. This race was the epitome of F1. They saw the human side and the strategy side of the sport in all its glory, and Red Bull's Max Verstappen was the one who came out on top. He suggested that what we are seeing now is a classic championship fight, and it makes us realise what we've been missing these last few years. F1 would love to have a 2-team fight for the championship, and if they can't have that, they want 2 teammates fighting for the title. He then pointed out that F1 has been lacking both of those things since Nico Rosberg won his championship in 2016, so it's great to see a real tooth and nail fight. And former F1 driver turned analyst Jolyon Palmer feels that Ferrari and McLaren are both enjoying decent seasons in 2021, and are embroiled in a battle for third in the Constructors' Championship. Do you expect the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to be more interesting with the new track layout? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.